I want to share a story with you today about an extraordinary artist who changed my life and the lives of countless others. Her name, Jaune Quick-To-See Smith. It was just a few weeks ago when I got the news. I finally felt ready to reach out to her. I'd finished writing the edits on my book I'd been writing, where I'd included Jaune's story in a special section. I wrote her name at the top of my to-do list. I was so excited to ask her if she would write the foreword for my book. And then, I think it was within a minute, my phone pinged with the news of her passing. It really knocked me down. Jaune wasn't born into privilege, far from it. Born in 1940 on the Flathead Indian Reservation in Montana, her father was a 40-year-old horse trader and her mother was just 14 years old. Her mother left them when Jaune was only 2. She was raised on Native American reservations, working in the fields. Her childhood was bleak, filled with poverty and hardship. As a teenager, she could see no way out of her joyless existence, and she wrote that she felt helpless. It was art that saved her life. She discovered it as a teenager and became, in her own words, addicted. I mean, think about this. A Native American woman with no money, no prospects, no connections, born in 1940, would come to art world fame in New York when it was being dominated by privileged white males. And she stayed there, becoming hugely celebrated until her recent passing, which made headlines in all the art journals. Jaune's career path wasn't conventional. She married, had kids, worked as a waitress and a janitor to support them. The family struggled. Yet Jaune kept making art. It took her years to graduate from college, and when she did, she chose not to accept a full-time teaching position. Instead, she wore many hats, meaning that she did different jobs instead of one full-time job. She worked as an independent professor. She delivered talks at colleges and museums. She sold images of her work to college textbooks. She juried art exhibitions, curated Native American exhibits, taught printmaking workshops, wrote articles for catalogs and books. She sold her art through her galleries and made prints at print shops around the country. I am a full-time artist, she would say, and a part-time cultural arts worker. When I look at the clues to her success, I see Jaune's commitment to supporting both her art and her community. In fact, she was unknown until she started an indigenous artist collective in New Mexico and got them a show at a cultural institution in New York. That one exhibition led to success for several of the artists who were included. Jaune was really into building relationships and communities, and I can't overstate the importance of this enough. Money is not the only currency that has value. In my professional experience, I have found that relationships are the strongest currency. Community is where we build and spend this currency, and that's what Jaune did. In one of our email exchanges, Jaune wrote something that I've never forgotten. I'm going to read it to you. I always tell artists to be realistic about our lifestyle. It's a gift. It's what keeps us balanced, and we need to do it, whether we write, dance, paint, sculpt, or photograph, whatever our creative urge. I also advise them that it's not so easy to use art for our livelihood, to pay for rent and food. Sometimes we have to have a job to support our habit, because art is our drug of choice. If sales were the measure of our success, most of us would have given up. Many of us are not salesmen, but we can teach, work in a museum, work in a library, build websites, give dance lessons, do public art, sell Hondas, photograph weddings, and make our art to exhibit, to give as gifts, to use for barter, and to trade with other artists. Some of us need the company of other artists. In fact, many of us need that. We want to talk about art, see exhibitions, travel, and see the world, and make art that is a joyful expression of life. Yes, there are successful artists who run a business, keep to a schedule, and manufacture art. But there are others who use art for meditation, who use art for thriving in an inspirational community, and are energized by a bohemian lifestyle. It's not being irresponsible. Art is our drug of choice. Jaune followed my own career with such kindness, but I had let time pass between our exchanges. I wanted to finish writing my book first. I wanted to share it with her, and I wanted to wait for her to see herself included in it. I imagined her surprise, with her custom humility, of course. But I was too late. Over the past few weeks, I've been reading all the online tributes to this remarkable woman, and I know that I'm not alone in my grief. Jaune has touched countless artists over the course of her career. She spoke the language of artists, and she encouraged us to grow beyond the paradigms we've been shown. She told us all, forge on and love your adventure, love your art, keep it sacred, make it your medicine, do good in the world. We artists are important to society. Keep in mind, the cultures who quit making art are dying cultures. We artists create experiences that inspire, provide meditation, heal, and give people hope. See that the Creator gave you a gift. Preserve it. Treasure it. Art can be your drug of choice. Use it to make the world a better place. Thank you, Jaune Quick-To-See Smith, for teaching us all how to see.